Thank you for taking the time to help me test these websites. As we go through, I'm going to ask some questions about the websites you are viewing. What on the website draws your eye the most?
The search section.
What would be the first thing you would click on?
Search section. It draws my eye.
Just by looking at the first page, what do you think the purpose of the site is?
Locating recycling facilities in the area.
Do you think the website, just by the way it's designed, would appeal to parents and children?
No.
What do you think of the general look of their website?
I think it's pretty basic, but it suits the purposes.
Just by looking at the front page of the website, do you know how you would perform a search?
Yes.
Okay. If I wanted to see where to recycle glass bottles, how would you do it?
Search by product.
Now from where we are, can you get back to the main page?
Yes.
Okay, if we were to look for information about recycling, where do you think that would be located and can you get there?
Recycling information.
Okay, now if we go back to the main page again. Okay, now can you find the news section?
Yes.
Okay, and if you were to search for more news, how would you find that?
Click on more news.
Okay, and the final question for this website is, if you would like to get into contact with the website, how would you do that?
Ring the recycling hotline or send them an email.
What draws your eye the most on this website?
The word search.
If you were to go onto this website for the first time, what do you think the first thing you would click on would be?
The by location select state.
Okay, just by looking at the home page, what do you think the purpose of this site is?
Something to do with recycling.
Okay, and just by looking at the home page again, what do you think of the overall design of the web page?
I think it's a little crowded and a little bit confusing.
And do you think this type of website design would appeal to parents and children?
I think it is too difficult for children to be able to navigate, and depending on how computer literate a parent was, they mightn't have any problem with it.
Okay. Now, without doing it, if I were to ask you to perform a search, do you think you would feel comfortable just by looking at the main page to know how to do that?
Yes.
Okay. So now, if I were to ask you where to recycle glass bottles, how do you think you would do that on this website?
I would go to the by location section. And then I would probably go to the product What was I looking for? Glass
Glass
bottles.
bottles, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, now did you think that was relatively simple or difficult to do?
I would say it was average. I don't think it was easy and I don't think it was difficult.
Okay. Now, do you think if they had something like a map section, that would be more beneficial to tell you where that recycling centre now was?
Yes, I think that would be beneficial. I think it would be good if they had a map of the state and you could just click on your shire or your town.
Okay, now from where we are on the website, how do you think we would get back to the main page?
I would click on the home.
Okay, now we're going to see if we can find the news section on this website.
Okay. I would look into information, recycling information. That would be
For the news?
for the news. Oh, I didn't even see the news. So I would click on the news.
Okay, now if you wanted to view more news, how do you think you would see a list of all of the news articles on this one?
There's a little thing down the bottom there. I would click on that.
Okay, now from here, how would we get back to the home page?
I would probably click up the top here.
Okay, now if we wanted more information about how to recycle, where do you think you would find that on this one?
I would go to the recycling info. And I think I've clicked in the wrong one, so I would go back to the home page and I think I would go recycling information. And that would give me information on the fact sheets and so forth.
Perfect. Okay, so if we go back to the main page again now.
I can't find anywhere on this page that I would... Oh, yes, I can. It is a little bit confusing.
Okay, now the last question for this one is if you wanted to get in contact with this website, how do you think you would do that?
I would look for somewhere that said contacts, which I can't see anywhere that says contacts. Maybe members area.
Okay,
Or
now,
about.
Are we on the home page at the moment?
No, I don't think we are. I'm not on the home page I was on before. So I'm a little bit stumped as to where I would go from here. I would go and click on the back button on my top bar, and that would be the only way I think I could get myself back to the main page.
Okay. Okay, what draws your eye the most about this website?
The banner.
Okay, and what do you think would be the first thing you would click on if you went onto this website?
The banner.
Just by looking at the first page, what do you think the purpose of the website is?
Recycling.
What about recycling do you think?
I'm not sure.
Not sure?
No.
Okay, what do you think of the overall design of this website?
It's good. A bit cluttered.
Cluttered? Okay, do you think this type of website would appeal to parents and children?
Possibly. If they knew what they were looking for.
Okay, and if I were to ask you to do a search, do you think you would be confident to do it?
Yep.
Think you do it? Okay. So if I were to say, where would you recycle, if you'd find where to recycle glass bottles,
Yeah,
could you show me how to do that?
possibly.
You can choose any one of those, it's fine.
See how many.
Okay, now did you think that was an easy or difficult process to find that?
It's pretty easy.
Okay, now how would you get back to the home page without using the back button?
Home button.
Okay. Now, if we're looking for information on how to recycle, where do you think you would find that on this website?
The recycling information page.
Okay.
Reuse hub.
Now, is this showing you information on how to recycle?
No, it's showing me information on where things are reused.
Okay, so let's try and find somewhere where...
Recycling information.
Okay, now if we go back to the main website,
Yep. I don't know now. Yeah, why not? Let's click on this one.
okay, now where do you think you would find the news section?
Under the news section.
Okay, and how would you find more news?
Under the more news section.
Okay, now if we go back to the main website, how do you think you would contact them if you had a question? How do you think you would contact the website?
Oh, hold on again. There's somewhere here, find that maybe. No. Let's go back. Screw it. Contact them.
Yep.
They contact us first.
What draws your eye the most on this website?
The search section.
What would be the first thing you would click on?
The search section.
Just by looking at the first page, what do you think the purpose of this site is?
Locating recycling centres near you.
What do you think of the overall design of this webpage?
I think it's much more attractive and seems to have a lot more information.
Do you think this type of design would appeal to parents and children?
Yes.
Do you know how you would do a search on this website?
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to try and search for glass bottles again.
Yep.
Okay, now did you find that easy to do or difficult?
It was quick.
Quick and easy? Okay, now we're at this page, how would we get back to the main home page?
I would look for a home button. If there wasn't a home button, I would hit back.
Okay.
Twice.
Okay, now can you find the news section?
Yes.
And how would we find more news on this one?
Click on the more news section.
Okay, if we go back to the main page again. Okay, now if you wanted to contact the website on this one, where would you go to find that?
contact us.
Okay, on this website, what draws your eye the most?
I would say the main picture section.
Okay, and if you were to go onto this website for the very first time, what do you think you would click on first?
Depending on what I was going to do, if I wanted to recycle a particular object, I would go up into this search section and type in what I wanted to do.
Okay, now that you're looking at this website sort of for the first time, what do you think the overall purpose of the site is?
To find recycling centres and to give you more information about how things are recycled.
Okay, and what do you think of the overall design of this website?
It looks a lot more interesting than the last one, and at this stage it looks easier to navigate, but I'm not sure about that as yet.
Okay, and do you think this one would appeal to parents and children?
Yes, it's much brighter. It seems to have more interesting stories and would definitely catch the eye.
Okay, and just by looking at, do you think you would be comfortable knowing how to search for a product or for your address on this one?
I would be, yes.
Okay, so we're going to try the same thing as we did last time. We're going to try and search for where we would recycle glass bottles on this one.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, now did you find that difficult or easy to find what you were looking for on that one?
No, that seems relatively easy.
Okay. Okay, now would you know how to get back to the main page on this one?
Yes.
Okay, now if we were looking for information about actually how to recycle, where do you think you would find that on this one?
I would click on this. And depending on what I wanted to do, I would click on the appropriate thing.
And what do you think of the information they're providing here?
It seems very straightforward. It tells you exactly what type of things they and what they're classified into.
Okay, now if we go back to the main page again. Where do you think the news section is located on this one?
On that section there. It's very easy because the main things are just up the top there for you to get onto.
Yeah, and if we wanted to look for more news on this one?
Yep, that's very straightforward. And then it has all the news articles set out nicely with pictures that get your interest, and the colours are bright.
Perfect. And if we go back to the main page again. Okay, now if you wanted to contact this website, where do you think you would find information to do that?
I would look for a contacts section, which is in a usual place that contacts is, and it gives it straight away.
Okay, now what draws your eye the most about this website?
The middle page, middle section with
The
pictures.
picture?
Yeah.
Okay, and just by looking at the page, what do you think would be the first thing you would click on?
Pizza.
Okay. Now, just by looking at it again, what do you think the purpose of this website is?
Reuse of recycled material.
Okay. Now, what do you think of the design of this one?
It's good. Not as cluttered.
It's cluttered.
Nice
Okay.
pictures.
And do you think if this one would appeal to parents and children?
Parents, not
Parents,
children.
not children. Why not children, do you think?
Doesn't have anything exciting in it, really.
Okay. Now, if I were to ask you to do a search, do you think you could do that quite easily on this one?
Yep.
Okay, so we're going to try the same thing again. So we're going to try and search for glass bottles recycling.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, did you think that was easy or hard?
Easy.
Easy. Okay, now we're going to try and go back to the main page again on this one. Okay. Now, if we were to look for information about recycling on this one, where would we go?
Okay.
Okay, so click on that one. Now, what do you think of the information they're sort of providing there? Do you think it's quite a lot, or?
Yeah, with the subheadings, yeah. So, not in the general page, but once you go into the subheadings, it does.
Okay, so if we go back to the main page again. Now, can we try and go to the news section? Okay, and now to find more news again. Okay, then we'll go back to the home page. Now, if we were to try and contact this website, where do you think we would go?
Probably down the bottom.
Okay, now did you think this website was sort of easy to navigate around?
Yeah, it's easier than the other one.
Easier than the other one? Okay. What draws your eye the most on this website?
The event advert.
What would be the first thing you would click on this website?
Recycling centres.
Okay, just by looking at the first page, what do you think the purpose of this site is?
Recycling centre locator.
Just by looking at the site, what do you think of the overall design?
I don't think it's very well put together.
Do you think this website would appeal to parents and children?
No.
Do you know how to perform a search, or how you would perform a search on this website?
Yes.
Okay, now from this website, how would you get back to the home page?
Like that.
Okay, now we're looking for information about how to recycle. Where would you find that on this web page?
Recycling resources.
Okay, now if we were to go back to the home page again. Now if we wanted to find the news section, where would we find that on this web page?
Possibly under recycled centres. Or not? I don't know.
Not sure.
Not sure.
Okay, and if you wanted to contact this website and to ask a question, how would you do that?
Send us your comments and suggestions. The recycling centre staff down the bottom.
Okay, looking at this website for the first time, what draws your eye the most?
I would say this middle section, find a recycling centre near you.
Okay, and looking at it, what would be the first thing you would click on?
I would click on this section to search where there was a recycle section near me.
Okay, and what do you think the purpose of this website is just by looking at the main page?
Just by looking at it, it looks to me like it's just about recycling, how you can recycle, maybe some green initiatives with the green shopping section, but it doesn't look like it has too much more than that just on first viewing.
Okay, and what do you think of the overall design of this website?
If it's only to find a recycling centre and give you a few tips about recycling, it seems to be adequate for that purpose at this stage.
Okay. And do you think this website would appeal to parents and children?
I don't think it would appeal to children. I don't think there's anything there that would catch a child's eye.
Okay, and just by looking at the main page there, do you think you would be comfortable knowing how to do or perform a search?
I would be, yes.
Okay. So now, do you think we could do the same thing as we did on the previous two and see if we could find where to recycle glass bottles on this one?
Yes, I think we can do. Okay, so I'm searching. Okay, doesn't really, if I was looking for glass, I'm not really straight away sure which one I would go to. I can see a couple of metals companies and hazardous wastes, but there's nothing specifically pointing me in the direction of glass, so I would just randomly click on something and see where I got to, but then I'm not getting anywhere now, so I'm not sure if that centre would be suitable for me to recycle glass. So I would go back again and see if by clicking on recycling centres it gives me any more information, which it doesn't. If I click on resources, it might give me some information. Not really. I'm still at a loss as to where to find something that would show me a specific place for a specific object.
Okay, now, was it easy to get back to the home page?
It was easy to get back to the home page.
Okay, and how did you get back to that one?
By clicking on the top
Icon? Okay, now do you think you can find where or if they have a news section on this site?
I can't see anywhere for a news section unless it's under resources. Not really. I can't really see anywhere that's got any news at this stage. Nothing telling me. Nothing that I can see that would give me any news, no.
Okay, if we go back to the main page again. Now, if we're looking for information about how to recycle,
Yep.
where do you think you would find that on this one?
Maybe this one. That gives me a bit of information about how to recycle from home, but it's not really very explanatory. It doesn't really explain things very well. It seems to be more an advert for a specific service than giving me any general information.
Okay, now if we go back to the home page again, now if we wanted to contact this website and ask them a question, how do you think you would do that on this one?
Okay. I would click on down here where it says send us your comments and suggestions, and that is linked to an email.
Okay, what draws your eye the most about this website?
Flowers.
The ad?
Yeah.
Okay. What would be the first thing you would click on this one?
The flowers.
Ad? To go off the website?
I don't know, it depends what I'm looking for.
Okay. Now, what do you think of the overall design of this one?
It's pretty basic.
Basic? Okay, and do you think this would apply or appeal to parents and children, this one?
Probably parents again.
Parents again, not think children?
No.
Okay, and what do you think of sort of the colour scheme and things on this one?
It's basic, really. It doesn't have anything that exciting on it.
Okay. Okay, now if we would try to do the same thing on this one, search for recycling of glass bottles, how do you think we'd go about doing that?
Okay. Recycling center.
Now if we wanted to recycle just glass bottles, do you think we could find...
Probably without going into each of these individual ones, probably not. So like recycling centres, metal recycling centres, they don't really have specific types of recycling.
Doesn't really show specific sort of what you can recycle.
Electronics and some of them, yeah, they don't really, they're just a recycling centre.
Okay, if we go back to the main page on this one. Okay, now what did you think of sort of the search functionality on this one?
It's fairly basic, it just uses a Google search.
Okay. Now, if we were to try and find the news section on this one, where do you think you would find that, if there is one?
Shopping, recycling centre, recycling centre. No, it's just recycling centres. I'm sure it doesn't really look like it has one.
Doesn't really have one?
No.
If so, can't really find it anyway. Okay, and now if you wanted to find resources about how to actually recycle.
Recycling resources.
Yeah.
Recycling centres. EPAs.
Okay, and is that giving you a lot of information or?
Probably if I click onto the subheadings again, not on the general web page.
And that's taking us
Even
to
though
a
it takes us
different
to a different
website.
site completely.
Okay. Okay, so if we go back to the main site again. Now, if we wanted to try and contact this website, how do you think we'd do that?
I don't know if they...
Clicking that link, you think?
Yeah, that will give you their Gmail account, but they don't look like they've got an actual... Unless they've got one in here. I don't know whether they've only got like a Hotmail account.
Just a basic email account?